Don't forget to call John Lopez for your heating and air conditioning needs and Tim Marquez to handle all your income tax for the coming year.
That's all I can say as I'm walking down to the beach here on this gloriously beautiful morning here. It's Good Friday, a very important day for Christians around the world. We've already got some big news on the bluefin tuna. We'll have that for you in a moment. Of course, rockfish season opens up on Monday. We'll have the weather forecast for you. And of course, we'll get you caught up on everything that is going on in the surf in Mexico and offshore. All right, let me set up here. It's time to get ready for the morning briefing. Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. It is absolutely gorgeous, not that cold, and a beautiful ocean here this morning for you all. We've already got information coming in, several boats on that big bluefin tuna, and emphasis on big. The grade, the quality of the bluefin tuna early this year has been magnificent. We'll talk about that in a moment. We've got some good fishing south of the border, 70 miles south to be exact, around Ensenada, and a little bit further down there at 85 miles, Santo Tomas and Punta Coloneta at 120, and San Quintin at 140. It's been really good. We see a flow of yellowtail pointing their little noses towards Southern California. Several boats out looking for a halibut at the islands and other species like white sea bass. Will the Amigo and the Pride and several other guys bump into some game fish here today? We'll have more on that. And of course, locally, everybody is set up for the Monday Rockfish opener. How's that weather gonna be? You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Good stuff, and so good to be with you all here on this Good Friday morning. I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your busy day to spend some time with us. What a show last night with Danny Cadota as the Amigo chef Jason Lawler crashed the party and jumped on with Danny last night. Lots of fun. You'll learn a little bit about what it is to be a galley cook, and Danny answered questions all night long. A myriad of different fishing experiences, from trout to bass to bluefin tuna, so much more. Great show last night on the Danny Cadota Show. Highly recommend you go back and check that out. Hit that like button. Please share these videos with a friend. If you subscribe to the Friedman Adventures channel, I'd be deeply indebted to you. And tick the bell so you're notified when there's new content. If there's an early bite, or there's a bluefin bite going on, or the halibut have turned on, or something else in sport fishing or in the great outdoors, you'll hear about it right here first. Make sure you tick that bell. And also, you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok for a little bit longer, and Apple Podcast and Spotify. Hey, it is truly great to be with you all. A reminder on the Rockfish opener, I'll be on the Island Spirit shooting a video up there at Aventura Sport Fishing. You can save 20% on that trip. Come out with us, have a great time. I'll see you at the landing, 8 o'clock departure time, Island Spirit, and you can save 20% by mentioning preseason 20 when you call Sal at the ticket office, 805-676-3474. Great trip on the El Patron. Also, Long Beach Sport Fishing for the opener. Man, they are leaving at 5 a.m. They're going with 22 anglers is on there, pointing their bow to Santa Barbara Island. Great big whitefish, sheepshead, and rockfish. It's going to be one heck of an opener, and they're going to fish late, coming back at 7:30 in the evening. Call Long Beach Sport Fishing and get on that great trip right now. Let me take you south of the border. We'll talk a little bit about Mexico Lindo, and down there in Mexico we see some really good yellowtail action. It's been going on for a while in San Quintin, as previously mentioned. That's 140 miles down the beautiful Baja Peninsula, and the yo-yo iron has been the way to go. Different size fish depending on the day. Sometimes it's this 8 to 12 pound yellowtail. Many times it's that 15 to 20 plus pound yellowtail. It's been biting really good on the yo-yo iron. And also you get big lings down there. There's been a few big halibut taken here recently, and also plenty of rockfish, so that is really, really good. In the Punta Colinet area, some of the San Diego sport boats have been down there. Most guys are focused on that bluefin, which I can't wait to talk to you about here in a moment. But some guys still running down to Colinet where you can catch some rockfish down there in that neck of the woods, and on most days, it's going to be really good. There's been a few hits on the yo-yo iron yellowtail, but nothing consistent down there at Colinet. And then we move you up to Santo Tomas, where some of the pongueros out of Ensenada have been fishing. They run south about 20 miles and they find some breezers, a big bonita, really big fat boneheads. It's been really good on that. Mixed with it some nice jurel, some nice yellowtail. And also, if you want to fish some of the reefs down there, there's some great rock fishing to be had. And then around Todos Santos Island, that's just, 10 miles from Ensenada. You can come out of the Malecon and fish out there. Man, there has been a better show of yellows, of also big bonita, and there's been some good rock fishing along the rugged Baja coast. Some great calico bass fishing. You go down there and throw the artificials on a beautiful sunrise. Now it is gorgeous. Man, is this beautiful. You throw some artificials there along that pristine, rocky, rugged Baja coast, and you'll be surprised at the big calico bass you can pull out of there. My kids and I have had several great experiences doing just that. All right, time to bounce across the border and focus in on the bluefin tuna. Mike Loest on the Pacific Dawn, his meter lit up with bluefin tuna. We'll be following him today. He's been on that bluefin tuna on board the Pacific Dawn, and there's a lot of 100+ pound fish biting here right now. The Polaris Supreme just got back in on a day and a half trip. They only had 11 bluefin tuna, but they were nice fish, like 100 to 180 pound fish. That is remarkable. It's long range style fishing in day and a half range of San Diego, and you just can't beat that. The Supreme has already got 20 fish on the boat. Lots of those big ones here again today. So once again, we're off to the races with some good fishing. And the Royal Polaris finishing up an 18-day trip, got on that bluefin tuna last night and put some nice big bluefin tuna on the boat. And I believe they still have a day left. So we are on the BFT right now, and it's showing all the right signs. It's just weather, and it was moon phase also. Sometimes as you approach a big, bright, full moon, sometimes the bluefin tuna, for whatever reason, very complicated, get off the bite. They just don't want to feed that well. And I think we saw that, and combined with some inclement weather, mostly rough and windy seas, it put that bite down. However, now we're moving away from the moon, and the further we get away, it seems the more likely that bite is going to continue. And of course, we need the weather on our side. Good morning, Lupe. What a beautiful morning to be walking the beach like my dear friend Lupe. So we are headed into the right scenario. The only thing you need right now is good weather, and we're going to have that here today. Then we're going to go into a lot of rain here this weekend, and we're going to have that storm as it approaches Southern California here this evening, ushered in with some very gusty winds for about 5-6 hours, and then pretty heavy rain for Saturday and Sunday. And then we move into Monday, and it looks really nice. It looks like we may have a little bit of breezy condition, but it should be good. And of course, I'm so excited about our Thursday trip on the Independence. We are all fired up. My son Philip can't stop talking about it. Scott Bouchard can't stop talking about it. Tim Marquez, can't wait to see you there, Tim. That's going to be a lot of fun. Mike Krinchkovich is going to be there. So many of our dear friends will be on that trip, and it looks beautiful. The long-range forecast is for nice weather. It might get a little breezy, but it's definitely fishable. And with that big grade of fish, a 5-day trip, can you imagine? I mean, it's going to be really, really something. I can't wait. And I will be doing updates from the Bluefin tuna grounds or wherever else we end up. I mean, if we limit out on bluefin and go yellowtail fishing, wherever we are on board the Independence, I'll be shooting in shorts to you, doing the morning briefing. It is going to be a ball, and it really looks good. You need heavy tackle right now because these are big fish. 130-pound Spectra would work really good. And it seems like the 400-gram plus jigs have been working best of all. I wouldn't leave my 200 to 300-gram jigs at home. And in fact, some of those 120-gram Colt Sniper-ish type jigs in the daytime have been very, very effective also. You know, that's worth pointing out. There is a daytime bite, and it's pretty darn good. You catch those fish in the 40 to 60 pound class and some bigger than that. 30-pound fluorocarbon seems to be best on that daytime bite. As I mentioned, a few fish on the shiny jigs in the daytime. Also, there's been some sinker rig fish also, but the big guys come out to play, and it seems like you get better hits, more fish at night. That's when the bite has been at its best, and it was good and continues good, and it's looking like this thing is back on again. However, we will take a step backwards with this weather this weekend. It looks like it's all of you will be home, it sounds like, to celebrate Easter Sunday. So once again, drop when the captain tells you to drop at night with your jig, drop to the exact depth he tells you to drop, and work that column, that area where he is telling you there are fish. In other words, you don't want to be working the 200 feet of water zone when the fish are at 350. You want to be down in that zone, putting that jig right in front of their face so they gobble it up and you get a 200-pound bluefin tuna. Wow, some really great scores. If anything else happens while I'm in post-production on the morning briefing, you'll see it down below, or you've already seen it. I will keep you up to date on the very latest all day long again here today, as I'm very excited for what is going on. So great signal on that bluefin. We'll go into a weather scenario, and then it looks like we have some nice weather for the week to come. It's a little early to make a call on next weekend, but everything is looking pretty good for now. If you get some good weather next weekend, it should be good. We'll have those things all corralled up for you on the Independence, and hopefully you'll get out and make a catch also. We start to look at the Southern California bite in general, and the local guys have been picking at the bass, a few sand and calico bass from San Diego, Dana Wharf, up there at Long Beach and San Pedro and Redondo, Marina del Rey, and the Channel Islands, just a little bit of bass, nothing wide open. There's also been some sculpin, there's been some whitefish, there's been some good sheephead fishing. Again, nothing really wide open. And now that we'll go into this rainy weekend, and you know, there really doesn't appear to be all that much wind with the rain. So if you don't mind getting wet and somebody's going to run, you're probably going to be okay in terms of the wind after that gusty wind ushers in the storm here later this evening. So once again, picking away at the stuff. Everybody is ready for the Rockfish opener, and just about everybody will be running trips, as people have been waiting for this all winter long. There are no finer fish in the sea than the Rockfish in terms of table fare. They are so good. Those colorful, delicious eating little devils will be available starting on Monday. And once again, I will be up there on board the Island Spirit. That's going to be a lot of fun with the great crew of the Island Spirit. Just show up. I'll be there shooting a video, shaking your hand and saying thank you to you. And also the El Patron, Long Beach sport fishing with that great trip. That is going to be a lot of fun. All right, the local halibut bite we've been pointing out to you has really slowed down. Native Sun had only one halibut yesterday, so that's kind of in the doldrums right now. We'll see what happens as we come out, although I think those guys will probably start to switch over and fish rockfish. In fact, I'm sure that's exactly what the plan is going to be. Now, in the surf, we continue to see some pretty good halibut fishing. In fact, I'm thinking to myself, because we have this oncoming storm, I'm going to come out here and soak a grunion and see if I can't get a bite here around 10 a.m. Maybe I can get Michael Limon to come out and fish. Michael Limon catching all kinds of calico bass, sand bass, and perch down there with Benjamin yesterday. Mike Morrison's son, Benjamin Morrison, and Michael Limon tore it up, and of course came into the studio every time they made a catch to show off to me, and I loved every moment of it. Maybe I can get him down here this morning and we can catch a halibut or a spot fin croaker or something like this, because man, I got to tell you, this is absolutely beautiful. So some pretty good surf fishing going on. Don't forget, big fish bait and tackle down there on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. This halibut bite in the surf has been pretty good. There's been some yellowfin croaker in here also. There's been some corvina, and barred perch are still around. The water temp seems to have warmed up a little bit. It was down in the 50s for a while after the last blow, and then it's back up to like 60 degrees now. So you might see a little bit more corvina. Big Fish Bait and Tackle also has a monthly giveaway. They're giving away a beautiful custom rod that will blow you away. All you have to do is buy a ruler down at Big Fish. Take your prize catch, and this month of March is barred perch. Lay it in the sand with that ruler. Inscribe the date in the sand. Take a photo and upload it to the Instagram page of Big Fish Bait and Tackle, and you're in there, and you could win that custom rod. Of course, we'll let you know who the winner is, and we'll keep you up to date on next month's tournament. I'm not sure what it's going to be. I need to go down there and see my friend Rada later today. Rada, good morning. Good to see you, man. Always good to see you. So once again, surf fishing's been pretty good, and then the local sport boats have been picking away at the sheephead and all that, but they're all looking forward to, of course, the Rockfish opener. Hey, there has been, as we've been pointing out to you at night, some really good calico bass fishing on the breakwall, and my dear friend Steve Oropeza was out putting the wood to the calico bass. Nice fishing on the calicos for Steve. It really has been quite good here recently, and Steve had a night session where he was catching and releasing calico bass with some great Promar Ahi new product that we'll be telling you more about as we go along. All right, I don't know what to tell you, everybody. Those guys are on the Bluefin tuna. They are putting together some decent scores, and while the numbers have not been huge here recently, the fish sure have been. They are big and they are tough. Independent sport fishing. We go on a 5-day trip. We're departing on Thursday. That is going to be so much fun. I just hope the weather forecast holds just where it is. If it does, look out. You guys who are on that trip with yours truly, you're going to put the wood to some big bluefin tuna, and I'm going to be there to catch it on video. Yeah, you'll have that memory for a lifetime after I capture it for you. It is going to be phenomenal. And all of you who are not on the trip, I'll be sending you constant updates, shorts, and the morning briefing, and so much more. It's going to be a lot of fun. I forgot to mention that the elf is on that trip. Greg Bates will also be on that trip. It's going to be fun. Bob Gifford is on that trip. A lot of old friends and a lot of good times will wait everybody who'll be on that trip. All right, have a great, beautiful Good Friday and a wonderful Easter weekend. Easter Sunday's right on the horizon. I send you all my best for a wonderful Easter. And of course, I'll keep you in touch with the very, very latest. Have a great and beautiful Friday, and I hope to see you really, really soon.